We are going to biotechnology. We have done half of that biotechnology last time. No? Okay, how far we have done? Can you tell me, students, how far we have done in biotechnology? I forgot also. So many days, no classes. Hello, students. Please, can you tell me how far we have done in biotechnology? Hmm? We have done the palindromic sequence. We have done no, and separation or and isolation of DNA fragment. Have we done? Hello, hello, students. Hello. Do the separation and isolation of DNA fragments. Okay. How? We'll do separation and isolation. Isolation of DNA fragments. Fragments. Okay. This one we do. Okay. This can be done by the agarose gel electrophoresis. Okay. This is an agarose gel electrophoresis. So here. mm, Okay. So okay. Now here. Okay. These are smaller DNA fragments. Smaller DNA fragments are there. No? Smaller DNA fragments are there, and these are the larger DNA fragments. Larger DNA fragments. Okay, and then we get the this side is the anode, positive electrode anode. This will be the anode. Okay, anode, and this side is the negative electrode or cathode. We get this cathode. Okay, anode and cathode we take. Okay, then inside we put the agarose gel. Put the agarose gel inside. So what we do here, first of all, DNA is cut into fragments, and by enzyme restriction endonuclease, we take the DNA. Suppose this is the DNA, and this DNA by the restriction endonuclease, it will cut into the fragments. We take the fragments of DNA into fragments. So we cut it into fragments, and fragments are separated by here the gel electrophoresis. This is an example of the gel electrophoresis. Gel electrophoresis. Okay, here. So DNA segment will be cut into fragments, and these fragments are separated by gel electrophoresis. DNA fragments are actually negative charge. That's why they will move toward the anode or positive charge. Okay, and they are negative charge molecule. They can be separated by forcing them to move towards the anode. Okay, they can be separated by if we force them to move toward the anode, they can be separated by bringing them toward the anode under the electric field through a medium separated DNA undergoes staining by okay through a medium. Now we can separate the DNA. We can move toward the anode and into a under an electric field DNA fragments will move toward the anode or the positive charge because DNA is negative charge. Okay, then after that, uh, whatever DNA has moved, we take it out and we stain the DNA by ethidium bromide. Okay, DNA will be stained here by. Then we take the DNA fragments. This is DNA, and this is stained by ethidium ethidium bromide. Okay, ethidium bromide. This is the staining will be done. Stained. Okay, stained by ethidium bromide. After staining by ethidium bromide, then DNA fragments are exposed to the UV rays. Okay, they are exposed here. DNA fragments are DNA fragments are exposed to UV rays. Okay, ultraviolet rays. They are exposed to the ultraviolet rays. Okay, and we can clearly see the DNA. Separated band of DNA. Okay, DNA are cut from the agarose gel and extracted. Okay, DNA fragments are cut from the, they are cut, and the small DNA fragments. Okay, DNA fragments are extracted after we make a small cut of DNA. So DNA fragments are made into small cuttings and they are separated or extracted. Okay, DNA are cut and extracted. Okay, extracted. Okay, this is the whole process. This step is called as the elution. This is called as the elution. Elution, elution. This is called elution. So cutting of the DNA fragments and extracting it is called as the elution. Okay, that much about this. Okay, the gel electrophoresis. What we take here, we take agarose gel, and in the agarose gel we take the cut pieces of DNA, and the DNA is a negative charge. So the negative charge DNA pieces, smaller DNA pieces will move toward the positive charge or anode, and then after that DNA will be taken out. It will be cut into pieces and stained by ethidium bromide, and DNA fragments are then exposed to the UV light, and after exposing to UV light, it is again cut into small pieces and extracted. This is called as the elution process. So after the gel electrophoresis, we want have to have some questions here. Okay. Mm, we will take some questions after the gel electrophoresis. So we will write the question now. Okay. We'll write the question now. Okay. Let's, okay. Okay, now we'll start the questions. Just 1 minute, please. Okay. Okay. Now, okay. Next question will be right here. Okay. Okay. So the question will be here. Now, related with the gel electrophoresis. Okay. We write a question here. This is the question is here. DNA, just write the question here. DNA fragments. DNA fragments generated by restriction endonuclease. Restriction endonuclease. Restriction endonuclease. DNA fragments separate. Okay, extracted by the, okay, generated by the restriction endonucleases. Endonucleases, okay. Endonucleases in a chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction can be separated by, in a chemical reaction can be separated by, okay, separated by number A, right here. Okay, centrifugation. Centrifugation. Okay, number B is the polymerase chain reaction. Polymerase chain reaction. Number C will be here of electrophoresis. Electrophoresis. Number D will be our restriction mapping. Restriction mapping. MAPPING, restriction mapping. So DNA fragments generated by restriction endonucleases. The DNA fragments generated by the restriction endonucleases in a chemical reaction can be separated by centrifugation, okay, polymerase chain reaction, then electrophoresis, restriction mapping. Okay, so answer will be here our electrophoresis. Electrophoresis. Okay, electrophoresis answer will be. So now, okay. And then okay, one more question is here. We can write there. Okay. Hmm. One more question came in the IPMT. This is finished now, all of you. Hello, student. Hello, finish this one. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, finish. Okay. Next question now. Next question is here. Gel electrophoresis is used for. Gel electrophoresis is used for. This question came in the AIPMT 2008, CBSE AIPMT 2008. So number A, you see the construction of recombinant DNA. Construction of recombinant DNA. Construction of recombinant DNA. Okay, by joining okay with cloning vector. Joining with cloning vector. Number B will be isolation of DNA molecule. Isolation of DNA molecule. Isolation of DNA molecules. Then we go to number C now. Okay, cutting of DNA into fragments. Cutting of DNA into fragments. And number D is enzyme replacement therapy. No. Number D, sorry. Number D is separation of DNA fragments according to their size. Separation of DNA fragments according to their size. According to their size. Okay, this is the answer there, according to their size. So which is correct answer? Gel electrophoresis. Okay. Gel electrophoresis here is used for separation of DNA fragments according to their size. No, just now we have done the separation of DNA fragments according to their size. Okay. Because the gel electrophoresis involve the movement of fragments or molecule from a well created on one edge of the gel. Okay. So here we can write there gel electrophoresis involve movements of fragments. Okay, separation of the fragments, DNA fragments according to their size, because we have done no, the smaller size will move faster and the larger size will they will move later. They are attracted towards the negative electrode. No, they are attracted towards the, because the DNA is our negative and they are attracted towards the anode or positive electrode we have done. So they are separated according to their size. Okay. So now, any question more? Let me see. Okay. Okay. Then, okay. Okay. Next one more question is there. Okay. Related with that, this. So when I ask the IPMT 2011 now. Okay. Here they have asked the question. Okay. Okay. They have asked here. Agarose gel. Okay. Agarose, AGAROSE. Agarose gel. Okay. Extracted from seaweed. Extracted from seaweed. Extracted from seaweeds is used in is used in DAS. Okay. So number A, we write here. Okay, spectrophotometry, let's say. Spectrophotometry. Then number B is our tissue culture. C will be PCR. Polymerase. PCR will be the polymerase chain reaction. And then D will be gel electrophoresis. Gel electrophoresis. Answer will be gel electrophoresis because the agarose is extracted from seaweed and is used in the gel electrophoresis. Okay, that much about the questions here. So, any more question from the gel electrophoresis? Nothing is there. So, yes. No, yes. After that, we go to next part. Okay, next part of the chapter, that is a cloning vector. Okay, cloning vector. So, cloning vector have now, okay. Then we go to the cloning vector. This after the gel electrophoresis, we go to the cloning vector. Okay, cloning vector. You see, cloning vector, it carries a foreign gene and is called as a vector. When any vector it carries a foreign gene, it is called as a cloning vector. So the plasmids and bacteriophages have the ability to replicate when bacteria within bacteria cell. Hence, both of them are cloning vector. The plasmid cloning vector are, you see, plasmids and bacteriophages. Plasmids and bacteriophages. This is very important. Okay, plasmids and bacteriophages are cloning vector. Are cloning vectors. Okay, because they have the ability to replicate. Okay, because they have ability to replicate. Ability to replicate within bacteria cell. Replicate where? Within bacteria cell. Within bacteria cell. Okay. Bacteria cell. So both of them are known as a cloning vector. Okay. Then here they can produce high number of desired gene per cell. Second point is there. They can produce high number of desired gene. High number of desired gene. Okay, per cell. High number of desired gene per cells. Okay, right. So these vectors nowadays the scientists are using engineered vector. Engineered vector in such a way that they help easy linking of the foreign DNA and selection of recombinant from non-recombinant. Example, E. coli vector. They use now E. coli vector known as, okay, present day E. coli vector. E. coli vector. This is engineered. Is PBR. PBR 322. This vector is used. Okay. This is a cloning vector is used. So this vector is already engineered. PBR 322. You have to remember in the exam. E. coli vector which is already engineered is called as PBR 322 is used. Okay. Then now, okay, we go to the. Acha. Now after that we go to. Okay. Now this features of cloning vector. This, if you have completed this one main point, then we go to the features of cloning. What are the main features of cloning vector? Finish now this one, please.
Yes,
Student, you have
sir.
finished this one? No. Okay. Okay. So now we go to the features of cloning vector. Okay. Now we'll go to features of cloning vector. Cloning vectors. What are the main features of the cloning factors now? Okay. So main features
Excuse me, sir.
of, yeah, okay. Yes.
Last to last class, we have done the human heart, but we haven't finished till now, sir.
Human heart, no, human heart in class 11, no? You are class 11 or 1 year batch? Hello?
On your bed, sir.
1 year batch, we have done human heart.
So what?
Oh, human heart we have done
Sir,
or
I
what?
think so.
I don't know.
Yes, sir,
This
we
will-
did human heart.
Yeah, sir.
Biotechnology, we have not started with you. Hello? All doubled, huh? Hello? Biotechnology, have you started? No.
No, sir, you're supposed to do human hearts at the circulatory system.
Oh, so this one we have not done. No, this whatever we are doing today, we have not done before.
Sir,
Hmm.
you have started this biotechnology.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
No,
You
no.
have finished. You have finished the restriction enzyme.
Acha, acha. Oh, so human heart just to leave today. We will just continue this one, and in next class we will do, because this one we'll able to complete no today. So let's complete this part first today. Okay.
Okay,
Then
sir.
human heart we'll do next class, right? Since we started this, no. So let us complete this today. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Acha. Now the features of the cloning vector. Okay. Now number one, origin of replication. Origin of replication. Replication. This is called as ORI. Origin of replication. This is there. Suppose we have a cloning vector. We have a cloning vector, plasmid cloning vector. PBR. Okay, 322. Suppose we have cloning vector PBR 322. So there is a place where the replication starts, and this is called as ORI, or origin of replication. Okay, so any piece of DNA when linked to this sequence can made to replicate within the host cell. So ORI is a sequence. Okay, this is a sequence. ORI is what? ORI, it is a, okay, it is a sequence where replication starts. Okay, where replication starts. Replication starts. Okay, sequence where the replication starts, and any piece of DNA. Suppose link here any piece of DNA here. Okay, by linking any piece of DNA, DNA will start replicating. So and any piece of DNA when linked here, it will start replicating. It will start, okay, replicating in the host cell, okay, host cell. That much you have to write about origin of replication. Then we go to next point is our, okay, that next point we go here. Okay, how to this area, this cloning origin of replication area, this has got the two things. One is recombinant substances are there, and non-recombinant also. Recombinant, they can combine to form recombinant DNA, and if there will be non-recombinant, then there will be no replication. So how to identify that at the site of the, at the origin of replication area, whether there is a non-recombinant is also present or not? Because if there will be non-recombinant, then replication will not take place. So for this, scientists have developed a method that is called as our chromogenic method. So little idea, we do the chromogenic method. Okay. So second one will be second one, chromogenic method. Chromogenic method to separate okay, recombinant Recombinant is our transformant. Okay, transformant from transformant MANT, transformant from non-recombinant, recombinant or non-transformant, transformant. Okay. So here what we do that. So here this method depends on the color reaction or the color coding. In this method, alternate selectable marker have been developed which differentiate recombinant from non-recombinant on the basis of their ability to produce the color in the presence of the chromogenic substance. So we place the vector here, okay, into the color, and on the basis of the color we will know that this area, this origin of replication area has the recombinant part or it has got the non-recombinant part. Okay, recombinant or non-recombinant parts. So okay, so here now what we do that here, okay, suppose we get PBR here, PBR vector, PBR 322. Okay, so here there is a site. This is called as BAM HI site. BAM HI site is here. Class 12 book BAM HI site, and this BAM HI site has got a uh, gene for beta galactosidase enzyme. There is a gene here. There is a gene, and this gene is this gene codes for this gene codes this gene will codes for beta galactosidase enzyme. Beta galactosidase enzyme. Okay, so this gene is removed. This gene is removed. No, this gene is removed. Gene which codes for the beta galactosidase enzyme at the BAM HI site of the origin of replication. This gene is removed, and if this gene is removed, the enzyme becomes inactive. Then the enzyme, this enzyme, if this gene I suppose is codes for beta galactosidase enzyme. If you remove this gene, then this beta galactosidase enzyme will become inactive. This will become inactive, and this is called as insertional inactivation. Okay, this is very important in the exam. So this is important in the exam here, because they will ask you what is insertional inactivation. So if you remove a gene coding for beta galactosidase in a vector, then after removing the gene coding for beta galactosidase enzyme, the gene become inactive, and this is called as insertional inactivation, right? Insertional inactivation, very important, remember in the exam. Okay, insertional activation. Okay, now then okay, then here what happened, one more thing is here, let us see that. Okay, insertional activation. Then here I'll be draw this, then I'm going to remove this now. Okay, so here we take recombinant DNA. We take the plasmid vector PBR 322. Okay, with the desired recombinant DNA. Here we take the desired recombinant DNA. Recombinant DNA we have taken. This whole thing, this whole thing is dissolved in a plate containing colored substance. Okay, this will dissolve in a plate here. Okay, this is our PBR 322, and here, okay, this is recombinant DNA. Recombinant recombinant DNA we will introduce into the chromogenic substance, into chromogenic substance. Okay, chromogenic substance, or the color. Chromo means the color substance. If the color appear blue, then it shows plasmid in the bacteria does not have the non-transformant or non-recombinant. Okay, so here if the color appear blue, then it will show that the plasmid, this is plasmid now, this is the plasmid. It will show, when the color become blue, then this will show the plasmid does not have non-recombinant colonies. Plasmid does not have non-recombinant colonies. Okay, right, does not have non-recombinant. This is also, please write this in the exam, it is important. Okay, if no color, now here, if no color or white in color, okay. If the no color or the color appear white, then it will indicate that presence of the transformant or recombinant colonies. It will say that there is a presence of, okay, it will confirms presence of transformant presence of the transformant or recombinant colonies, or FOR. Okay, presence of transformant or recombinant is the colonies. Recombinant means they can replicate. Sometime what happened at the site of the recombination, there will be area which will never replicate due to presence of some non-recombinant molecules. So if the color appear blue, then the plasmid does not have recombinant colonies. And if no color or white color, then presence of the recombinant is there. Okay, so this is the conclusion they have drawn. Okay, then after that we go to another okay, vector for the cloning gene in plants and animals. Okay, vectors for cloning gene in plants and animals. Okay, so now here after that we'll go to the vectors for cloning gene in plants and animals. This finished now, all of you finished this part? Hello? This part is finished, then we go to the vectors or cloning gene. Okay, now. All right. So now we rub it here. Okay. Now then we go to the vectors for cloning gene. Vector for cloning gene, and cloning gene. Okay. In plants and animals. Okay. Animals. So here what happened? Okay, now here okay, so okay, now they have found that there is a bacteria known as Agrobacterium tumefacium. Okay. This is very important in the exam. They ask agrobacterium. Agrobacterium tumefaciens. 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 Okay. This is a pathogen of several dicotyledonous plant, and this will able to deliver a gene known as a piece of DNA known as the tDNA. tDNA to transform normal plant cell into tumor. This bacteria will have a gene. This is called as This will have a gene called as tDNA. Okay, tDNA. This will have a gene called as the tDNA, and this tDNA, this will make the transfer normal plant cell into tumor cell. Okay, normal plant cells are converted into tumor cell. Okay, are converted into the tumor cells. Okay, by the help of the tDNA. Just like in the xylem and phloem tissue, is converted into tumor cells. Okay, so what happened there? Scientists they have actually tumor cells. Then they have the tumor-inducing plasmid of agrobacterium has now been modified into cloning vector. This gene has been removed. Okay, tDNA gene. This is a plasmid. This is this is called as a plasmid. And this is a plasmid of the agrobacterium tumefaciens, and tDNA has been removed because tDNA has caused the tumor in the plant cell. So scientists have removed the tDNA, and after removing the tDNA has been removed. Okay, tDNA removed, and after removing the tDNA, this has been modified into cloning vector. The plasmid becomes the cloning vector. Okay, cloning vector, that means we can incorporate the desired gene of interest into plants. So here, this area empty. No, plasmid, this area is empty because we have removed the tDNA. So here we can combine it with the desired gene. So this is combined with the desired gene. Okay, combined with the desired gene and become a vector, and this is incorporated into plant. Okay, this is incorporated okay, into plant. Okay, so this is the how we can introduce the gene into the plants. And suppose we want to reduce the size of the seed of a fruit of a plant. So we have to introduce a desired gene to reduce the size of the seed in a fruit. So this tDNA bacteria or the agrobacterium tumefaciens plasmid is used, which contain the tDNA. tDNA will be removed, and in place of tDNA in the plasmid, we bind it with the desired gene, and we allow the vector to enter into the plant cell, and whatever desired character we want, we'll get. Okay, this is called as vector for cloning gene in plants. And in animal, we can use the retrovirus. Retrovirus in animal have the ability to transfer normal cell into cancerous cell. So there we can remove the gene responsible for is causing the cancer, and it can be used. The plasmid can be used for the beneficial purpose, that's like in plants. Okay, then after that we go to the competent host. That is, we will take this vector and we will introduce into host. No, so here I'm trying to say that the vector, we take the plasmid vector. Okay, this is the plasmid vector. No, this will be the plasmid vector. So we take the plasmid vector and introduce into the host cell. And in the host, what happened? The desired gene which is there in the plasmid will replicate, will multiply. Okay, so the host should be should be competent so that inside the host, the desired gene can replicate. So how do you make the host competent, or how do you know that the host is competent or not? So there are two methods. Okay, in order to force the bacteria, because the DNA is a hydrophilic molecule. Okay, you have to know that DNA, this will contain here the DNA. Okay, this is the DNA or gene, we can say, and this is also DNA. Plasmid, no? Plasmid is also DNA. Okay, so they have to enter into a vector. DNA is a hydrophilic molecule. DNA is what? DNA is a hydrophilic molecule. DNA is a hydrophilic molecule. So it cannot pass through the cell membrane. And in order to force bacteria to take up the plasmid, because this is a bacteria, suppose this is a bacteria, and we want to allow the bacteria, and we want to allow this to enter, but the plasmid or the vector, it cannot enter into the host cell. The bacteria is a host cell. So we have to make the host cell competent. So to make the competent, the bacteria cell must be first made competent, and this will be made competent. Okay, this will made competent, no? Competent to take up vector. Okay, to take up the vector. Okay, it's a vector. Okay, this vector, plasmid vector, along with the desired gene, should be taken into the host cell through the cell membrane, but we have to make the bacteria or the host cell competent. So how do you make it competent? This is done by treating them with the specific concentration of divalent cations, such as the calcium. So we spray the calcium ion. Calcium ion will be sprayed here. Listen it very nicely, because in the exam it will come. We will make the host cell competent. Okay, we will make the host cell competent. So that it can take the plasmid vector. So how to make competent? We spray the divalent calcium ion. By spraying the calcium ion, there will be formation of the pores. Okay, pores are formed here also, here also, the pores are formed. And when the pores are formed, they can easily take the DNA along with the plasmid can enter inside the host. Okay, inside the host. Okay, then recombinant DNA can then be forced in such cell by incubating the cell with the recombinant DNA on ice, following by placing them at 42 degree, then putting them back in the ice before allowing them to enter inside, before allowing the vector. This is a vector, no? This is a vector. So before allowing the vector to enter into the host cell, what we do here, we have we have to take the vector with the DNA. This is a vector, and this is DNA. No, this is our DNA, desired DNA. This is now what we do that. Okay, this is our desired DNA, Okay, and this whole area. This is called as our plasmid. Okay, whole thing is now this is the recombinant. Now is formed as the recombinant DNA. Okay, now this will be taken before entering into this. Before entering into the host cell, this will be taken. Okay, this will be taken on ice. We will put it on ice. Okay, this will be placed on the ice. We take the vector on the ice, plasmid vector on the ice, and after ice, okay, we will take it. We will heat it at the 42 degrees centigrade. Then it is heated. It is heated at 42 degrees centigrade. or sometime, heated at 42 degrees centigrade for some time. Then again it will put on the ice. Again our vector, this is plasmid, no? Okay, plasmid vector will be placed on the ice. Okay, placed on the ice, then again this enable bacteria to take up the recombinant DNA. And this will enable the bacteria, then it will, recombinant DNA will enter inside this. Okay, this will enter inside this, right? Okay. Then sometime we can introduce our recombinant DNA by a method known as the micro injection in the animal cell. So if you want to introduce this plasmid into the animal cell, this is the, suppose here, animal cell. So if you want to introduce, we take an injection. This is an injection. Okay, here we can take, this is called as micro injection. Micro injection, and we can put it inside this, and we can, this recombinant DNA will come. This is called as micro injection method. Okay, micro injection method. So the micro injection method for introducing recombinant DNA into the host cell or in the animal cell. Okay, this is called as micro injection, where the recombinant DNA will allowed to enter into the animal cell or host cell. Okay, then in the plant cell we use the gene gun. Suppose we want to introduce the plasmid in the plant cell, we have to use the method of gene gun. So here, suppose we take the plant cell. This is the plant cell here. Okay, we take the plant cell. So here we will introduce gene gun. We blast it. Okay, we blast it. That's called a gene gun. So by gene gun we blast it, and after blasting, the plasmid vector will enter into the cytoplasm. These are the method by which we'll make the host component. Okay. Now, okay. Then last one, we go to the process of the isolation of genetic. How do you isolate the genetic material? Okay. How do you isolate the genetic material? So you see, these things, please remember, because in the exam it will ask a short question. Okay, so isolation of genetic material. How do you isolate genetic material? Okay, isolation of genetic material like DNA and RNA. DNA and RNA are the genetic material. How will you isolate? Okay, so you see that okay, in majority of organism, deoxyribonucleic DNA is the genetic material. In some of them, RNA is genetic material, like the viruses. RNA is the genetic material. So what happened here? Okay, so DNA is enclosed within the membrane. We have to break the cell open to release the DNA along with other macromolecules such as RNA, protein, polysaccharides, and lipids. So now this can be achieved by treating the bacteria cell, plant cell, or animal cell with the enzyme, okay, such as the lysozyme in the bacteria, cellulose in the plant cell, and the chitinase in the fungus cells. So here, what we do that, if it is a bacteria, okay, bacteria, and inside we have the genetic material, no? We have the genetic material, or we can say that genetic material, or so this genetic material can be taken outside of the bacteria by using the enzyme lysozyme. We say that by lysozyme, we can take out the genetic material outside. Okay, this is the genetic material. Okay, genetic material of bacteria. So we can isolate the genetic material bacteria by using the enzyme lysozyme. Remember that. And similarly, in the plant, this whole membrane will break. Okay, the outer membrane will break and genetic material will come out. Similarly, in the plant cell, suppose we take the plant cell. This is plant cell here. Okay. So here also the genetic material. cell. Okay, this is the plant cell, genetic material in the plant cell. Okay. So here, the genetic material will be, now this can be, we have to use the enzyme cellulose. Okay, so by the enzyme cellulose, here the cell wall will broken down. Okay, cell wall breaks, no? Cell wall breaks and genetic material will come out. Okay, genetic material will come out, right? And similarly in the fungus, if there okay, so here the fungus, okay, it can be treated by the enzyme. It can be treated by the enzyme. Okay, uh, chitinase, chitinase, chitinase. Okay, fungus can be treated by the enzyme chitinase, fungus, FUNGUS, fungus can be treated by enzyme chitinase, and we get the genetic material. Okay, this is the genetic material. Genetic material. Okay, so here we see that how will you isolate genetic material? In case of the bacteria, we have to use enzyme lysozyme, and we can remove the cell wall and of the bacteria, and we can remove the genetic material. Similarly, in the plant cell, we can remove cell wall by cellulose and genetic material will be taken out. In case of fungus, we will treat it by the chitinase and genetic material will be taken out. Okay, so after that, we see that this is about the prokaryotic cells. And what about the eukaryotic cells? Eukaryotic cells means in the okay, in the mammals or all. So here, DNA in this is intermingled with the proteins such as histone. Okay, the eukaryotes. In eukaryotes, there are the. This will be our DNA. No? DNA is intermingled with the or we can say like that. Okay, there is a protein molecule called as the histones. Okay, above the histones we find that DNA is there. Okay, this will be the DNA. Histone is there and DNA is there. So histone is a protein. Histone. No, histone. This is a protein. So eukaryotes, the DNA is intermingled with the histone protein. Okay, histone protein, and there are RNA also. Okay, there will be RNA also. So RNA can be removed by treatment with the ribonuclease. RNA, it can be removed by treating, okay, by treating with ribonuclease, treating with the ribonuclease enzyme and ribonuclease enzyme, and protein like histone, protein will be removed by the enzyme protease. Okay, protein can be removed by the enzyme, treating with the enzyme, removed by protease enzyme. Protease enzyme. Okay. And RNA we have removed, and also protein we have removed. Removing DNA will be, remaining will be DNA. Remaining will be DNA. So in this way, DNA will be removed from the eukaryotic cells or eukaryotes. Okay. So okay, this is a very important question now. So after that, we have PCR technique. Okay, PCR technique means the amplification of gene of interest using PCR. Okay, so now we write here PCR technique. Okay, amplification of gene. Amplification of DNA. Okay, this is done by polymerase chain reaction, or PCR, by PCR or polymerase chain reaction. Okay, we'll complete today. Today we'll complete. Okay, so here what happened, that the enzyme. Okay, now we take the DNA. Suppose this is the DNA we have taken. Okay, we have taken, this is our DNA. DNA will be, okay, this DNA we have taken, and here inside we take the enzyme. Okay, amplified. The DNA will be amplified many times. Okay, there is a thermostable DNA polymerase enzyme. Use here thermostable DNA polymerase enzyme. We will use here thermostable DNA polymerase enzyme. So by using this enzyme, will act as a temperature of the 50 degrees centigrade. This enzyme has been isolated from the bacteria. Okay, isolated from bacteria. This question has been asked many times in the exam. Okay, this enzyme, thermostable DNA polymerase, has been isolated from a bacteria, Thermus aquaticus. From bacteria, you have to remember that, Thermus aquaticus. Okay, Thermus aquaticus. This has been isolated from bacteria, Thermus aquaticus. Many times it may be asked. And this will help in denaturation of the double-strand DNA. Okay, so here what happens, this DNA will be, double-stranded will be amplified. Okay, amplification of DNA takes place. Okay, so this is that. Okay, now after that, there are insertion of recombinant DNA into host cell. Now, there are several methods of introducing the ligase DNA into recipient cell. Recipient cell, after making them competent to receive, take up DNA, and DNA will multiply there. Okay. Okay, now after that we go to obtaining foreign gene product. Okay, foreign gene product, it can be obtained by taking them in the bioreactors. Okay, bioreactors, these are of two types. Then what, this will be last part, obtaining the foreign gene product. Obtaining is the foreign gene product. Foreign gene product. Okay, so what we do here, obtaining the foreign gene product. Okay, so here what we do that, okay, the clone genes of interest may be grown on a small scale in the laboratory. Clone genes, okay, they will be grown. Clone genes can be grown in a small scale. In laboratory. Small scale in the laboratory, and be grown in a small scale in the laboratory. And then the culture may be used for extracting the desired portion and then purify it by different separation technique. Desired gene is purified and marketed. Okay, purified and marketed, right? Okay, so here we can do the culturing in the bioreactor. So the culturing can be done in the bioreactors. Bioreactors, okay, stirred tank reactor. Bioreactor is usually, we use here stirred tank reactor. Okay, that much you have to understand that. Then we go to downstreaming process, last part. Okay, this finished now, students. Okay, obtaining the foreign gene Clone gene will be grown in a small scale in the laboratory. It is cultured in the bioreactor, mainly the stirred tank reactor. Stirred tank reactor. And then from there, desired gene is purified and marketed. Okay. So now last part is the downstreaming process. Last part will go to the downstreaming process. Downstreaming process. Okay, downstreaming process here. The main aim, after completion of the biosynthetic stage, the product has to be subjected through a series of processes before it is ready for marketing. So before it goes for marketing, the process includes separation and purification. Okay, separate. It is separated. Downstreaming process here, the product means gene is separated and purified. Separated and purified. Purified before going to market. Before going to market. Okay, this is our downstreaming process. Okay, the product has to be formulated. Such formulation had to be done through the clinical trial. Product is formulated. Okay, formulated. Okay, then in case of the drug, clinical trial. In case of drugs. Okay, it should undergo clinical trial if it is the product is a drug. Strict quality control testing for the product is required. Okay, there will be strict quality control testing. Okay, this will be the downstreaming process. So now with this we come to end of the chapter, and now few questions. If you have time, we can go for few. Okay, so today we leave, and the next class we do the questions on remaining questions. Maybe 5-6 questions we will do, and we will complete the chapter of biotechnology. Then your circulatory system will start. Okay. Hello, students.